From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Yasmin Al-Taji. It's Wednesday, February 19th. Here are today's headlines. The National has learned details of Egypt's plan countering U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed takeover of Gaza. The plan, to be proposed at a mini-Arab summit on Friday, includes a staggered reconstruction process over 5 years and the creation of an independent Palestinian oversight agency without moving Gaza's population outside of the territory. Sources told The National Egypt has been discussing the plan with international donors, including the EU. It's also included representatives of major construction companies and Gulf Arab nations that have indicated their initial readiness to contribute funds.
Trump officials are portraying the reconstruction of Gaza as something that is impossible, something that will take 20 years. And that is not how it's seen in the Arab world.
The National's correspondent Kamal Tabiha reports.
I spoke with Ambassador Rakha Ahmed Hassan, a former deputy foreign minister and a member of the Egyptian Foreign Affairs Council. Ambassador Hassan told me that the view within Egypt is that it could be rebuilt within 3 to 5 years, and there have been multiple proposals by Egyptian real estate contractors who would take on this rebuilding effort. And he called what Israel is proposing ethnic cleansing.
Under the terms of the ceasefire, Israel had agreed to allow the entry of 200,000 tents in the first month. Sources told The National that hasn't happened.
Now, there are suspicions in Cairo that Israel is stalling until it sees how the Trump proposal will play out and how the Arab world is going to respond, which is why Cairo, up until now, has insisted on presenting a unified rejection of Trump's proposal. The foreign ministry told us multiple times that this would be outside the bounds of international law and that even allowing or even indulging this proposal would essentially give it room to happen.
Separately, sources said Egypt is in the process of selecting a 15-member Palestinian committee to oversee the day-to-day affairs of post-war Gaza, including a limited say in the reconstruction effort. The proposed committee would not include representatives of Hamas or the Palestinian Authority and will be aided by local clan chiefs and mayors. Trump's proposition on Gaza, which he dubbed a potential Riviera of the Middle East, marked a leap in U.S. policy on the region and the presidency's adoption of an ideology considered to be far-right, even within Israeli politics. The U.S.-backed, mostly Kurdish Syrian Democratic Forces in control of large parts of Syria will not give up their weapons as long as ISIS remains active on Syrian territory. That's according to Ilham Ahmed, speaking to The National. She's a senior Kurdish politician of the Syrian Democratic Council. The statement could deepen fragmentation of the country as its new president Ahmed al-Shara vows to restore all of Syria to central control. Ahmed told The National, quote, "It's a necessity to keep weapons because there is a fight against ISIS. We'll also have to be reinforced because it's obvious that recently ISIS has resurfaced even stronger than before in a few areas of Syria." The National's Suniva Rose reports.
There's tensions building over the fate of Syria's Kurds and how their armed group will be integrated in post-Assad Syria. The new leaders in Damascus want all groups to disarm or they won't be included in the transition. Kurds say it's unfair to ask them to lay down their weapons because they have been fighting for years against ISIS, which is still a major threat in the country. They're also fighting back Turkish incursions and Turkish-backed militias. Kurds want to have a say in shaping tomorrow's Syria, and Syria's new leader Ahmed al-Shara has said he wants to be as inclusive as possible, but it's unclear how that's going to work.
Syria's Kurds represent about 10% of the population and endure discrimination under Assad rule. Ms. Ahmed says they report feeling excluded from the political transition led by Damascus's new rulers. Interim President al-Shara has called for all paramilitary groups to disarm. He's vowed to be as inclusive as possible and held a meeting on December 30 near Damascus with SDF representatives, including its commander-in-chief, Mazloum Abdi. Ms. Ahmed said that in Paris, U.S. officials told her delegation that, quote, they would continue to cooperate with the SDF in the fight against ISIS, as they have done until now. Lebanon said it will consider any remaining Israeli presence on its lands an occupation and has the right to use any means to ensure an Israeli withdrawal, a representative of the Lebanese presidency said on Tuesday. That statement came after Israel confirmed it would maintain 5 posts within Lebanese borders after its deadline to withdraw from the country.
We are temporarily remaining in 5 strategic high points necessary for our security.
Presidency spokeswoman Najat Sharafuddin said after a meeting between President Joseph Aoun, Prime Minister Nawaf Salam, and Parliament Speaker Nabih Berri, the Lebanese state adheres to, quote, its full national rights and sovereignty over all its territories, and affirms its right to adopt all means for withdrawal of the Israeli enemy, unquote. She said Lebanon would also seek the UN Security Council's help. Under the November truce, Israeli troops were granted 60 days to withdraw from southern Lebanon, where they'd waged a ground offensive against fighters from Lebanese armed group Hezbollah since early October. That deadline was extended to February 18th. But Israeli and Lebanese officials, as well as foreign diplomats, had anticipated that Israel would retain some troops on parts of the Lebanese side of the border. That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at thenationalnews.com. Yasmin Altaji, The National.